How we doing?
I'm sorry to interrupt your conversation.
That's all right. We're supposed to get shitty weather here tomorrow, so we were swapping shitty weather in Ohio stories.
What do you mean shitty weather? What kind?
Well, tomorrow we're supposed to get one of those derecho things with the high winds. We had one of those like 10 years ago here, and it took the power out for like 3 days. Of course, when it was 97 degrees outside.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Or it would be negative 30.
Right, yes. It can never just be 75 and breezy. No.
No, you can't just open the windows and No, I get it, man. I understand. No, it's been great here. I mean, for some reason, this time of the year should be like pretty hot. Like in the higher, sometimes in the mid to high 90s. But it's been like 82. We're 78.
Yeah, that perfect sweet spot. Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to be up to 100 on Wednesday. So that's what's going to happen. Tomorrow the power is going to go out for 3 days, and then it's going to be 100 degrees for 3 days. That's my assessment of the situation.
What kind of fucking power you got?
They were totally taken by surprise apparently last time because wasn't it, Aaron? It was like three whole days.
Yeah.
People's dogs are dying.
Like our power company, like Baltimore Gas and Electric, like they send people out as soon as they start hearing about that shit. They start sending people out, and I guess I don't know what they're doing. They're climbing up on the poles, and I think they're just checking to make sure all the screws are tight. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Ours is Barney and Earl's Gas and Electric. They don't
the feather bottoms.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, the feather bottoms.
You got the feather bottoms working for you, working at your company.
The ratio come in and cut all the shit out. I don't know what to do.
Well, I have a big job interview tomorrow at Amazon.
Oh, distribution center?
Apparently. and like I can't figure out like why they wouldn't hire me. You know what I mean? Like they would hire anybody that would limp in there, crawl in there, wheel in there. You know what I mean? With the assistance of people, they would hire them too. You
got a work coach? Come on in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, should I take my championship belt? Wear my robe? Put my singlet on? Tell them that I was the ECW TV champion for 4 minutes? If I put that on my resume, you think that'll work?
Yeah. Look how many times ECW comes up in your searches. I was famous.
Yeah, for like 13 and a half minutes.
Well, I hope it goes well for you. Good luck. Is it?
Well, it's like I said, it's Amazon. How can it not? The only thing that I could do to fuck it up was for me to fuck it up. You know what I mean? I could just go in there drunk. That'd be the only way I would fuck it up. And if it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, I doubt very seriously I'd be that drunk. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be drinking. I'm just saying I wouldn't be that drunk.
And they'd probably just say, well, you can't start today. Just come back tomorrow.
Can you come back in about 8 hours?
You don't show up at all. They're like, you still want the job? Or
It's Amazon. I can only imagine the amount of stuff that I'm going to steal from there. the packages, because I'm still waiting for packages from 8-9 months ago.
If you get somebody else's package, they just tell you to keep it.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, nobody ever gets my packages.
2 times now we've gotten packages that were for people that probably lived in this house before or something and didn't change their address. And if you call Amazon, should I send this back or whatever? They're like, no, we'll just send them another one. You can keep it. So then it's like a mystery box. So
it's like a fucking thrift store of shit. of new shit. They just have like a mass amount of just junk laying around, and yeah, I don't know, but I can't even begin to tell you how I think this is going to go. It's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be like they're either going to take me completely serious, which I hardly think that's possible, or they're going to think I'm cutting the Ric Flair promo. And I'm just going to go, woo! I'm ready to start packaging shit up. Give me on that assembly line, ASAP.
All right. Let's see. Well, all right. Let's get started here. This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are going back and reviewing the episode of ECW TV from September the 20th, 1994. I don't know if ECW didn't have a show the week prior or if Peacock just didn't put it up there, because we actually last week's episode was 9/6. This week's episode was 9/20. I don't know what happened to the week in between. I have no story on that. I tried to look.
That could have been one of them infamous lost tapes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing stories about like several of them that didn't. Because it's about a 2.5 hour drive from like Philly to like Media, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? Anything could have happened, and who knows who the fuck Paul pissed off? And they just said, fuck it. Doug was too busy in bed with a guy. Feinstein's too busy fucking diddling people. I have no idea what was going on with the distribution there with this show.
Well, either way, no matter it was Feinstein or what, the episode from the previous week is not available, so we just skipped right on to the September 20th.
Amazon delivered to the wrong place, and they just said, keep it.
The show?
It's fine. Just keep it. We'll send them another one.
We'll find another one.
Yeah, checks in the mail. We opened the show this week with a recap of Shane Douglas's speech from a couple of weeks ago, throwing down the title belt. And like Chad said in our chat earlier, it was like an acid trip. There's like 17 screens on the screen of Shane cutting the promo.
This was probably Paul finally got like a fucking editing deck and was just fucking with it. Didn't know what he was doing, or whoever was editing it.
What are you doing?
Hey, buddy, I'm doing a podcast. My little neighbor's kid just got home. Me, my little buddy. Yeah, was it me or was it just all over the place?
Yeah, it was not only was it like multiple screens on the screen, but they were moving them around, and it was kind of shaky. And yeah, you're right, it was like an acid trip. I'm watching this promo after I just dropped some.
But I don't remember. Is this before or after Matt Radico was the producer? Do you guys know by any chance?
After, because I'm pretty sure he was the producer from the beginning, wasn't he? Even Cabrini, I think he was the producer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because we're right in that time frame to where he could or could not have been there still, and it looks like. To me, it looks like more or less Paul is taking over.
I was going to say Maddie in the House produced this segment.
Well, Maddie, I don't know how Maddie in the House is going to produce that segment when Maddie don't even have a house. Maddie's out of the house.
Maddie out of house.
Maddie in the driveway.
Maddie in the shed.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just a bunch of stuff they just had left in the can. I don't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because to tell you the truth, I mean, besides a couple of the segments that were on there, it just looked like it was just thrown together. Just
Yeah, and
whatever.
I actually have that later on in my notes. This was like the shit we have left over from the last taping, and we haven't done another taping yet. So here's what we got for you.
We got some more Cabrini College footage. You know, it's Stevie Wonderful doing commentary.
Hidden gems, ECW hidden gems. Well, we staffed the video, the opening video. We have a promo from Shane Douglas and Matt Bourne, who's starting his Born Again gimmick.
I thought it was the 911 package.
If that was there, I missed it. Maybe
I didn't see a 911 package.
Yeah, it was like a 9. I mean, maybe it was just showing me the last like 30 seconds of the last week's show or something. But yeah, I mean, but anyway, yeah, it was like you said, it was who was it? Doink.
Born Again, yeah, Doink, and he actually does the thing. It's kind of cool. He's got half the Doink makeup on, and then he puts on the Big Josh plaid, shirt, and this is good stuff. I enjoy this. I really do. I really like this gimmick that Matt Bourne had here. Shane even says he's gone from a cartoon to a man, and I thought that was a cool line.
I love Doink in ECW.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not even the Doink character, just the half of the Doink. Like I thought it was great. I mean, I thought it was a perfect fit for ECW, and the crowd I don't know if they did or didn't, but they should have eaten that up because it was them shitting on WWE, and at the same time making Matt Bourne, who everybody knew was Doink to begin with,
right?
Making him a guy because everybody knew that Matt Bourne was a badass to begin with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like they already knew he was a badass, but now he's not a clown no more. Literally. You're no longer a clown. I love Doink in ECW. I don't know what happened, but I mean, clearly, we probably know what happened.
Yeah, that's what we threw that against the wall last week to see what stuck, and I think we definitely figured out what stuck.
Like, you're a little too extreme, buddy.
Yeah. Matt Bourne realized that you can get great drugs in Philadelphia.
Well, do you guys remember the line of the promo, or like the best line in the whole promo? Matt Bourne says, he's like talking and he goes, "You want to get nuts? I bet on your chin."
Oh, good Lord.
I missed that.
Yeah. No, so did I.
Guys. He's like, "You want to get nuts? I bet on your chin." And fucking Douglas pop. Like, he had the whole back fucking laughing. But yeah, that was a Matt Bourne line in that promo.
I don't even remember being there. For them promos, because that would have been man. That would have been 2:00, 3:00 in the morning for that to happen, and I can't believe that Matt Bourne had to stick around and wear that dumb fucking goofy ass makeup and outfit for like 7 more hours. So I mean, no wonder his interview was so intense because he was pissed. I still gotta wear this goofy ass outfit.
I'm tired. I just want to get high.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? I mean, I know I'm sure he was high.
I just want to get more high.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard in the ECW arena to get high. When I used to go get the pit bulls drugs, I only had to walk about, I don't know, to the end of the block. That's where I had to go. Because they told me to go get it, and I just said, "Where's it at?" They were like, "Well, you go out of the front door and you make a left, and you go to the end of the block." I'm like, "Well, that's only like 100 feet."
I was about to say that. I'm sure a great drug dealing entrepreneur would have figured out very quickly to hang out around that building on a certain night every single month.
And then you would have one in the parking lot, like because the parking lot was across the street, like not even across the street, it was kind of down the street,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a big gravel lot, and that's where you parked like the mass amount of cars. So I can imagine there was somebody in there because there was a bunch of rubes down there tailgating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was just some guy. He had a big trench coat on, even in the summertime, walking around selling fake Rolexes and drugs.
And they were like, "Hey, Paul, shouldn't you be at the arena getting the show ready?"
Yeah.
Well, after this segment, which, like we said, that we all agreed it was a good segment with these two guys, Joey intros the show, shows us clips from the tag title match last week where Cactus Jack and Mikey won the titles, and then we get another great Cactus Jack Mikey Whipwreck promo.
Yeah, Mikey's getting better, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it's a whole lot of coaching from Cactus, but and I'm sure that wasn't the first take. There's no chance that was the first take, because I remember being there, and not that specific thing, but Paulie would make you do 4, 5, 6 takes to the point where you almost didn't believe anymore what you were saying because you had already said it. You know what I mean, like 5 times. But yeah, Mikey's getting better, and believe me and Mikey aren't friends at all. And I think he's getting a lot better here.
And Jack is great here, too. He talks about wrestling Sting, wrestling Vader. I love the line that I've wrestled everybody from Abdullah to Zbyszko, the A to Z of professional wrestling. Of course, he's golden here. And he asked Mikey, you know what that means, Mikey? And Mikey says, that means I'm going to die.
I'm going to die. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's going to take a little bit longer, but yeah, Mikey eventually gets it, as we all know.
Aaron?
I just, like you guys are saying, Mikey's benefiting from being with Cactus. Paulie showing that he knows what he's doing with people. It's like, hey, let's take this kid. He's got momentum. Who's a better person to put him with than the biggest? Honestly, Terry Funk's not around, so Cactus is the biggest star.
Mm-hmm. Where was Terry now at this point?
I'm not sure. Well, this is September. He might still be in WCW. Because I think he might still be doing the Stud Stable stuff.
Is this what he was doing? Kind of both, but then just left ECW to go back?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever.
The other thing that I have written down here, it's later in the notes, but I think this segment is very much a example of it. These shows, it's amazing how quickly they've gotten better and how much more they're keeping my attention.
Production wise,
just in general, the flow of the show and the promos and everything. It's just it's keeping my attention more. Also, there's not as much to bust on. It's getting. I'm sure there's always going to be something on every wrestling show that you can rake over the coals, but it's just becoming just more of a cohesive show, more intriguing characters, and you can definitely tell. That there's changes going on behind the scenes too.
And how long has this been since Paul's taken over?
Let's see.
Has it been a year?
It's been about a year because Eddie left it's been a year because I think Eddie left in August of '93.
So it's taken him about a year to formulate his plan, to restructure his vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does that make sense? Like, he's taken about a year and going, look, these are the guys that I want to build this shit around. Yeah.
I'm not going to use Hunter Q. I'm not going to use Belomo.
I think he actually liked Belomo, but I think Belomo probably was kind of seeing where ECW was going and was like, I ain't gonna be taking staples and shit.
No. It's the children, the kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say goodbye.
Yeah, That's exactly how he said it too. Paul was like, "Look, we got this thing planned where you're gonna go out there with the Sandman, and he comes out with a big gigantic stick, and after he beats you, he's gonna whip the shit out of you with this goddamn gigantic stick." And he's like, "Oh, Lama, sorry, I'm gonna have to go to work at the pizzeria." What's the matter, you, Paulie?
My responsibilities at the Variety Club have increased. I can't.
Yes, I know. I do this for the children.
I gotta sick a donkey. My donkey's sick. I gotta go.
I think South Park up one time and says, "I do this to the children, not for them."
Well, after the promo, we have a match: Cactus and Mikey against Chris Canyon and Dino Sendoff.
Wow, this was Chris Canyon's debut, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Is it before or after this? It's before. It's after this that he's in that Men at Work team in WCW, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah,
It has
Or
to
whatever it was. Okay.
that was like 95 when Canyon showed up there.
Yeah, it has to be because did anybody? I mean, there's no reason why they would have had Canyon being in that position had he had been somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know fucking Canyon from shit. But I mean, he had a great size. He had a great look. Sure, he had a lisp.
But so did Dusty.
Yeah, I mean, and he was gay, but so was Dusty. I don't know.
I don't have a lot of notes about them.
Dusty Rhodes would be fantastic.
What's that? Gay Dusty Rhodes?
Gay Dusty Rhodes would be fantastic.
He turns on Sapphire for Slick.
Virgil. He steals Virgil from the $1 Million Man.
Wow. That must mean that Dusty has a great crevice.
He's got a few of them.
Yeah. So Virgil gonna have a field day with Dusty's body. It's like the King's Dominion.
He's like, I'm having an orgy with one person.
I'm sticking it all over Dusty's body.
And Dusty Rhodes is a BBW, I tell you.
Yeah.
You got that splotch.
What's that? The Squatch.
Splotch. That splotch on his belly. We figured out.
Oh, that's Splotch. That's for Virgil. I didn't know that African Americans leave stains when they finish. That's how they catch rape victims these days.
Do you have a splotch?
Yeah. All right. Well, we can cut out the white people. My wife just said, "Good Lord." she came out and heard us talking about like being racist. She just came out and just said, "Good Lord."
Gay Dusty Rhodes. Boy, oh boy. All right. I don't have a lot of notes about this match, but one of the notes, the main note that I have is Mikey and Cactus are a great tag team.
Well, it's Cactus. It's Cactus with Mikey.
True.
It's a great tag team.
I love that Cactus uses them as a weapon. Like he'll just throw them into people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Cactus went to Mikey before any particular match and said, "Hey, what do you want to do?" You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the time, a guy will go to another guy and be like, "What do you want? What do you want to do? Whatever." But I think Cactus was just like, "Mikey, just go out there,
follow my lead." Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think it took like a whole lot of prep time, like you're prepping for a Hell's Kitchen fucking reopening. You know, it wasn't nothing like that. It was just, all right, you're gonna get beat up, and I'll come in and I'm not gonna sell and I'll just take bumps over. You know what I mean? You know how it goes with Cactus and shit. It's typical. Is there anything not typical about that Cactus performance? I mean,
nope. It's balls to the wall every time, and like I agree with Aaron. I think it's great that he uses Mikey as a weapon. He'll just throw him into the opponents or whatever, and kind of pretty much the story is, if you watch through their matches, Cactus is toughening Mikey up.
Yeah, but he never really said it, did he?
No, it's all in the ring,
Story?
you know. Yeah,
Like
Mikey
doesn't want to fight, so he's like, "Okay, you don't want to fight? I'll just throw you at the guy, and now you have to. You're either gonna fight him now, or you're gonna get your ass kicked. Take your pick, because you're in it now, you know."
And then either way, Cactus will make the save.
yes.
So Mikey can get beat up some more. And he would just sit there and be like, "All right, come on, Mikey." And then he gets beat up some more, and Cactus makes the save. And come on.
It's the first real good story in ECW. You know what I mean? Like the first, like, I if that makes sense, like the first good storytelling of these two guys being together. And because I mean they'd have angles before, but it's like we could make fun of Cairo and Sandman and Tommy and Sandman and shit like that. But this is an actual good wrestling story, in my opinion.
I'm tired of making fun of Tommy. It's starting to get on my nerves.
Well, luckily he's not featured on this show.
No, thank God. Neither is Tom Brady.
And during this match, the Public Enemy come out and attack Jack and Mikey. And essentially Jack comes in, like Chad just said, saves Mikey from a beatdown from Public Enemy with a double DDT, throws Mikey onto Johnny Grunge. And it's just a wild brawl between these four guys, and I think it's effective.
Yeah, except for that DDT. Jesus Christ, that wouldn't crack an egg the way he... I don't know how the hell he... I mean, it looked like... To me, it looked like shit. He didn't have either guy, like... You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the guys just fell forward.
And I guess I'll ask you, me having obviously never worked in the ring, do you think that was on him or on them?
I mean, honestly, it was probably on Jack.
Okay.
Because I would assume the way that it went, because I've taken DDTs a million times, and that slap on the back is your cue. Boom. And then, like, it used to be you go head first with your neck twisted, but then I think guys got hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you did it that way, and then guys started doing that big fucking face plant spot, where that's where I was like, dude, this move is dead. If that's the way you're gonna take DDTs nowadays, then look at Jake, dude. He would throw his feet underneath the guy's legs when he would bring you down, and he would just drive you to the mat. But no, Jack would just do the whole deal where he would just fall flat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't want to hurt you because that's the way he was trained. But I don't know if Jake gave a shit or the way Jake did it was just so good. Because I never heard of Jake killing people.
No. The only one that I was gonna say the only one I ever heard was the Steamboat one on the outside, but I think that just went. Well, no,
south. He said that he blamed Steamboat for it.
Really?
Steamboat said he just wanted to take it like a normal DDT, and he was like, "You can't do that." And then Jake even said he didn't want to do it at all. And the WWF was like, "Yeah, we got to do this angle," and he's like, "It's a bad idea." But then he's like, "I'm not the one taking it, so if he's willing to do it and you want me to do it, all right."
Yeah, man. If I was Ricky Steamboat, I'd be looking at the calendar and being like, "What month is this happening in? And how long am I going to be out for? The rest of the summer?"
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, whatever. I'm down.
But like I said, overall, I think this was, it was a decent squash match, and then that led to a good brawl between these two teams to keep the feud going. Anything else on this segment, guys?
Just Dino Sendoff looked worse wearing a shirt than he did when he did.
Dude, when does Dino send off look any good?
I'm just saying, when he didn't have a shirt, he didn't look as bad as when he wore a shirt.
Well, maybe Paul told him to wear a shirt
We want you to look extra worse tonight. Send off.
because they had titties. He's like, you know, we already have like
They already have
women on the
women.
show.
The next segment after this, we get a promo from Too Cold, and then Too Cold Scorpio is going to have a match with Stormin' Mike Norman here on the show. The Too Cold Scorpio is a Too Cold, or the Too Cold promo is a Too Cold promo. Like I've said before, one of my favorite wrestlers, not a great promo. Just being honest.
It's
Terrible
rambling.
promo.
It's rambling, and then 2 lines from current rap songs, and then he's like, "Hey, hey, hey," and he leaves.
Yeah, how can you be that good at one thing and that not good at the other?
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. You can't 50-50 book that, you know, like you can't be like, you got to put this together, man. You know, and especially when you decide you're going to be a wrestler. Maybe it's because Charlie he started out like in Japan and Mexico where they didn't do a lot of promos and stuff, you know, so maybe he didn't think about it, but now you're in the States and you gotta get yourself over verbally. And he just went out there and with his big ears and everything. All I tell you was my cable reception was better when he was on the screen because of his ears. I was having a little cable issues, and all of a sudden Scorpio comes on there, and I'm like, oh, look at this shit, it's fixed.
I can't. This is the only place where I can share a story like this where people might actually appreciate it. So I'm going to tell this really quick. Last night, I'm watching a random episode of WCW Saturday Night from 1993.
Insomnia.
And on this episode, one of the most surreal moments I've ever seen in my life. Okay, you got Too Cold Scorpio, Marcus Bagwell, and the Cole Twins in the ring. Dancing to Too Cold's music, and the center stage crowd saying "Whoop, there it is" over and over and over again. I was like, what the fuck? This is one of the most surreal things I've ever seen in my life. It's ridiculous.
And the worst part was Doug Dillinger was probably leading the crowd. 67-year-old Doug Dillinger.
He's saying "Womp, there it is." He doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing.
Like, "Womp, there it went, guys. Say it."
Everybody thought he was having a seizure because he's out there waving his arms. What's wrong with Doug Dillinger?
Saying,
"Womp, there he went."
Womp, there it went.
Womp, there it went.
Yeah, episode title, anybody? All right. So we get this Too Cold match. During the match, Joey is talking about how Shane Douglas, the upcoming show, is going to be defending against Too Cold. Too Cold hits a...
He's got to fight Born Again first.
Oh, yes.
In Hambone, Pennsylvania.
Oh, is it? Did they say it's in Hambone?
Yeah, it's in Hambone, Pennsylvania.
Good Lord. This has to be the end of Hambone, Pennsylvania, right? Like, it has to be, right?
No, they're still there, aren't they?
Now?
Yeah, this is
the show's still going on.
It's night 2. They had to break it.
It's probably because Paul never actually paid Ted Petty for the ring, and the ring's still set up, and everybody just left. And then all of a sudden, Ted Petty dies, and Paul's like, "Well, what the fuck you like here?" Fuck, you know what I mean?
Well, Scorpio hits a 450 for the win in this match. Any comments or anything like that on the match itself, guys? I didn't have any.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's kind of a weird combination of guys. Too Cold, Norman, Mike Norman. Like, what are you gonna get out of this? But
I just couldn't figure out what the fuck Canyon was doing there. This is that same match, right?
Nope.
Oh no.
No. This was a singles match.
Well, then I still couldn't figure out what Canyon was doing there. or how about this? Why Canyon wasn't there?
No, I would have rather
seen
seen
Canyon.
I would have rather
scared than Canyon.
I would have rather seen Mike Norman team, send off and lose to Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck and watch a Too Cold Scorpio Chris Canyon match.
All right. Well, yeah. Yeah. I guess so. I could probably go either way on that, but yeah. I mean, I can see your point.
After that, they show footage of the angle last week involving Chad, Jason, and Rockin' Rebel, with Rockin' Rebel and Chad with their breakup of the team that they had for like 2 weeks. And then the match itself is the TV champion, Jason, with Dean Malenko against the Rockin' Rebel. Aaron?
Malenko attacks Rebel before the match. Behind the referee's back, obviously, because he's not Dean Malenko right now. He's just the shooter. That's what they're calling him. At least that's how they introduce him. It's the shooter. And basically what he's doing is attacking Jason's opponents before the match so Jason can get the advantage. And then the match starts, and Jason obviously goes after the shoulder of Rebel because that's what's supposedly injured.
His whole career was injured.
I did write down. I did write something down. A fan yelled at Jason. I had to rewind and make sure I heard it right.
Oh,
this fan yelled at Jason, "Get your sock out of your leotard, you bitch!" It's like, did I just hear that? So I rewound it. That's what he said. Get your sock.
Oh, I thought he called him retarded.
He said, "Get your sock out of your leotard, you bitch."
Oh, he said, "Get your sock out of your retard." Like Jason owns a retard, and he stuffs him with socks. What are you talking about? I ain't never seen a retard stuff with socks. All right, I'm going to hell. All right, as soon as the show's over.
Well, like Aaron said, the story of the match kind of here is that obviously Rebel is working with a hurt shoulder because of Malenko. He fights back a little bit, but Jason then wins the match with his feet on the ropes to get the heel win and retain the TV title. Can't be much longer. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I do kind of like the Dean Malenko being with Jason, because I sometimes like when fucking wrestlers that shouldn't be together are, you know what I mean? Like Jason and Dean Malenko have no reason to be together, but I like the fact that it's like that. It's like Dean Malenko signed this fucking European bohunk to be his manager.
What's that?
European bohunk.
Does Wendy's sell that? What extra cheese? Can I get a double bohunk? What the hell is a bohunk?
With bacon.
A bohunk is just a moron, like a muscled up moron.
A bohunkinator?
I think that term came from one of those 80s movies. The
16 Candles.
16 Candles or Pretty in Pink or one of those. I think.
I'm gonna ask Miss Jess. Miss Jess, you ever heard of the phrase bohunk? See, look, she's shaking her head no. What does it say? It was like what'd you say it was again?
Just like a muscled up jock moron. That guy's a bohunk.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess around here we call them meatheads. Yeah, because that's exactly what Jess said when she heard you describe them. She's like a meathead. Yeah. Well, he's a bohunk.
I'd like a bohunk with extra meathead, please.
You're European bohunk. That's Jason.
A junior bacon bohunk. You pull up the Wendy's drive-through.
That's the name of the
fucking value meal.
Junior bacon bohunk. That's the name of the show.
Can I get a junior bacon bohunk with no mayonnaise on it, please?
And a Coke.
And a Coke.
I've never had mayonnaise, but I will never eat mayonnaise because I'm always afraid that I'm going to get that one little trickle of mayonnaise on the side of my lip, and nobody's ever going to tell me about it. And then I'm going to walk around, and people are going to be like making fun of me, like it's like I got cum on my face.
Yeah, look at Money Shot over here.
Yeah, so I purposely never eat mayonnaise. I don't eat anything white. I only eat yellow cheese. I'm a eating racist.
After this segment, we get Joey Styles back to introduce a press conference, quote unquote, press conference with Shane Douglas.
And the Japanese media.
Yes, and the Japanese media.
The Japanese media, which you never see.
Oh, none of them. Yeah, I don't even know why would they even say that?
And then the Japanese media asks a question. It's like, yeah, hey, Shane Douglas, you know...
what's the matter you?
I was just wondering, yeah, what's the matter you with the NWA title?
Shut up your face.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's Tony Marmaluke with like makeup on his eyes to make him look.
Why'd you leave the WCW? It's a nicer place. So shut up your face.
Get the pizza.
How do you feel about being the champ there, boy son?
Jesus whiz.
Konnichiwa, motherfucker.
Konnichiwa, motherfucker. I love that.
Oh, Sal Balomo.
Well, Douglas here is talking about being emphasizing that he's a wrestler, he's the champion. Cactus Jack comes in and congratulates him for becoming champion.
Man, you took copious notes, dude. Jesus Christ. I got nothing close to this.
I think Nate froze.
Maybe because when the show was on, I was cutting the grass. Maybe that's why I don't have as many notes as you. What happened to Aaron?
Well, now it's Nate.
Or Nate. What happened to Nate?
I don't know. Hold on.
What's he doing? That art thing that Cornette promotes? that paint, whatever thing. Paint my life.
Paint my life.
Yeah. He ain't doing so well.
Now he's gone.
We always got great connection. But anyway, I mean, let's go back to Dino Sendoff. One of my favorite job guys there. Like, it's just amazing to me how nobody even had to tell you where you sit in the locker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go into the locker room, and then you know that if you're a job guy, well, you just look for the other job guys, especially the worst-looking job guys, because then you know where you're sitting. Oh, I'm sitting over there, and I see Dino Sendoff, and I just go, all right, well, I guess I'm sitting over here with Dino.
Was he an all right guy?
And Storm and Mike Norman.
Was Dino Sendoff an all right guy?
And Paul Loria. There wasn't a whole lot of jobbers there, right? I mean, if you look at it from the surface, it's pretty much the same batch of guys almost every single week. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean, we still got what's his name? Gino Caruccio, whatever his name is. Has he come in yet?
We've seen him a couple of times.
What's his name? Little Guido guy. Yeah, he's been in there a couple times.
Yeah, Little Guido was on a couple weeks ago.
You guys hearing me okay?
Yeah, now.
Okay. Yeah, my shit froze up.
Yeah, you did a paint your life gimmick.
Yeah.
The next match on the show is Shane Douglas with Matt Bourne in his corner against Nishimura. I did not write down his first name.
Osamu
Nishimura. I don't know about this dude. I guess I just don't remember him. I don't know. Was he any good?
Well,
he had a good match with Shane.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I can tell you about him as far as that I knew. Whatever year this was, whatever time frame this was, he was trained by Lemonhead in Florida, and he was sent over to be trained by Lemonhead, and then they booked him all over the country to work independents with no money. Like, I don't know who paid him, because he didn't know shit from Shinola when it came to English, and all I know was he didn't make any money, so he would have had to have gotten paid like from Japan just to come over here and get money, get experience before he could go back and make money. And then I fast forwarded, and then I even texted a friend of mine. I was like, what the hell did Osamu Nishimura do after? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where did he end up? And my buddy was just like, well, he was in New Japan for like, a cup of coffee. And then he's gone. Like,
okay, so
they wasted all that time on him.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say. So, okay, so I don't feel so bad about not knowing shit about the guy, because apparently he never went anywhere. They were just hyping him as he was going to go somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, because he was trained by Lemonhead.
So, as a favor to Lemonhead, will you book this guy, please?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, Because
Mm-hmm.
Paul, I'm sure, was in touch with Tori and Derry. He was in touch with them, and he just said, "Hey, look, we had this guy. Can you give him some work?" And then when I looked at him like in the ring, I just was like, dude, this guy's got no charisma. He's got no status. You know what I mean? No stature. He was standing there and like his shoulders were slumped. And I was just like, he has nothing. Like, what?
He has no fucking idea what's going on.
Like, yeah, I don't know what. And who did he work again?
Shane Douglas.
Oh, so Shane had to carry that match. All right,
it wasn't terrible. It was fine. Shane wins with a promo.
Was Shane hurt during this? Like, I don't mean hurt during the match. I mean, but was he hurt like during this match? Did he come in the ring hurt?
I don't think so.
He seemed at a couple times when the guy would throw him into the ropes, the way he would grab the rope was a little gingerly. Like he didn't grab the rope snug like you're supposed to. Like it was favoring one. Like, how Shane's lame. Every time he does anything, he hurts himself. So yeah, it seemed like when he hit the ropes, he was favoring like either one side of his body, a rib, an arm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you didn't catch it, but yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I didn't catch that really. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he was nursing something at this time. I don't know.
Or he was planning an injury.
I need some time off.
I need some more money.
Mm.
And if you don't give me more money, I'm sorry I can't make it. I tore a fucking I don't give a fuck sept. That's the way that I saw it, because it looked like Shane was halfway not there.
Well, Shane does win this match with a cradle, and then after this match, we get a match between the Tasmaniac and Surfer Ray Odyssey. All
right, and then what's the next match?
there is no match after that.
No, I'm actually friends with Ray, and I always liked him, and I thought he was a great fit. I thought. I mean,
I think Ray Odyssey's a good, decent little wrestler. Like he can do some shit off the ropes, and he sells good. And I But I think in this match it was weird because he got like a lot of offense on Taz. Like I think he got way too much offense in this match. They're like going into it like, oh, Taz is the most extreme guy in the company, and like fucking Sandman Jr. has him like down for.
Well, who's to say that maybe they had bigger plans for Surfer Ray Odyssey, and shit just didn't work out. Like a lot, like most of the New Jersey guys, them Carluzzo independent guys, like they always seem to like they come, but they don't stick around,
right?
You know. And I always thought Ray, like I remember seeing Ray in like 1991 at like the first convention that I went to, like in Philadelphia, and I was like, dude, because I was the one that told him that he should go to Memphis. Did you ever send a tape to Memphis? And then like I don't know, 5 months later, I'm watching Memphis, and this dude shows up there, but he must have got his first paycheck and said, "Fuck that! I'm catching the first wave back to the East Coast because this ain't working." But you don't, if you don't know how to work Memphis, then you're not going to make it in Memphis. You gotta take money down there because you're going to lose money. You know, that's the way Memphis works. That $40 a night gimmick. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a joke.
It's like that Jeff Jarrett line to Steve Austin. Like he keeps staring at it, but that check ain't gonna get any bigger.
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. I mean, when I was down there, that $40 a night guarantee was not a guarantee anymore.
That's like the Dutch Mantel story where they're asking the boys if they're on drugs, and Dutch Mantel says, "The way you paying us, we can't even afford to be on food."
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it was. And you had to hate being a guy like what's his name? The guy who did the payoffs down there. I can't remember his name, but yeah, the guy who did the payoffs. Like Law would make this old man, like he was fragile and frail, walk over and do all the payoffs because he realized like nobody's probably going to beat this guy up.
Guy Coffee?
Guy Coffee, yeah, that's him. Like he realized like nobody was going to go beat up Guy Coffee, and if you did, you're probably going to have a bad name in the wrestling business after that. Yeah, Memphis was something else, man. We could do a whole another show on fucking Memphis.
Well, to wrap up this ECW show, Taz does win that match with a suplex. To wrap up this ECW show, 911 comes out with Paulie and choke slams multiple wrestlers. I wrote down Paul Loria, Canyon,
the
referee.
Where was I?
Yeah, you weren't in this segment.
No. I mean, maybe I wasn't even, like, if I wasn't on that show, then maybe I wasn't at that show.
You may not have been because they're doing the thing with you and Jason, but I don't think you were with Jason and Chad wasn't with Jason and Malenko in this match, was he, Aaron? I don't think so.
No. Yeah, I mean, because I don't remember. I mean, me personally, I don't remember spending a whole lot of time in the arena with Malenko. Like maybe one show that, you know, because you know how Paul would make you stay and watch all the promos and stuff. And after you watch a couple of Malenko promos,
you see them all
at 2:00 in the morning, you're just going, I'm done. I've had enough. I can't take this anymore. I have to get out of here.
Maybe Too Cold isn't such a bad promo.
No, not after fucking Dean Malenko. But you got to understand, Dean Malenko came from the schooling of it wasn't promos, it was work. Mm-hmm. That's why he was so good, because he spent more time working than he did talking. Maybe he should go to an Applebee's for happy hour and have a couple of beers and loosen up a little bit.
Well, I mean, you always hear it. He'd be when the lights are off. He's a funny guy, and they say he had a great personality. And yeah, but just you turn the camera on, and he's just, I'm Dean Malenko. I am a wrestler.
He's old zipper neck.
One of my favorite lines I ever read in a wrestling book was in Jericho's book, and he said that him and Dean and Chris and Eddie were at like this strip club, and there was a stripper up there, and she probably weighed like 80 pounds. And Dean was like, I don't know if I should give her $1 or a food stamp. Jesus.
Or a cheesesteak. Dude, I always make that kind of reference around here when we see like different servers or bartenders and all that are like you work at a restaurant. Get a sandwich. How hard is it to ask to cook for a sandwich?
Well,
And what was Paul fucking wearing? It looked like he was wearing like a silky purple robe.
Silky boom boom robe?
Silky boom boom robe.
I didn't actually catch that, but I'm a big fan of Paul Lorian because he took a severe he took the Kevin Sullivan beating that I should have took, so that's why I'm a big fan of him. That was supposed to be me, and after I seen that beating, I was just like, God damn! Thank God the power went out, because I'd still be laying there, or at least pieces of me would still be laying there in the arena.
Well, they're devoting all this time at the end of the show to 911. Probably could have put something more effective on. What did he know? Did he know Paulie? Like, is that why he's getting such a push all the time?
Al?
Yeah. Like, I don't know his story. I don't know where he came from or who he knew or.
Apparently, I mean, if you try to connect the dots, they have the New York connection,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So maybe it was something that had to do with New York. Johnny Rods, maybe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know how Paul would take a lot of guys that came in at Johnny Rods's gimmick.
Right.
And maybe he was like, I got this guy. He's 6'10", can't do shit. But I mean,
He looks
you
impressive.
keep up with him, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, overall, to wrap the show up, what did we think?
I was
Go
going to
ahead,
say, I think 911 is the first example of Paul being like, let's just hide your negatives and accentuate your positives, and you're a big fucker. Don't do anything other than chokeslam people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was the first, but I think he was the most glaring.
Yeah, most prominent. Yeah.
Because I also put myself into that category too. Because Paulie would always want me to get beat up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just go out there, take all them bumps that I seen you do. Take all them goofy ass bumps and then, you know, watch any matches that I won. Look at how much offense I ever got.
Right.
Only one thing, you know, right before the finish. So yeah, Paulie's good at that kind of stuff.
So overall, what did we think of this episode of ECW, guys? I actually dug this episode. I liked it. Like I said, it kept my attention. There wasn't anything. I mean, I know that some of the matches were enhancement matches, but that's what wrestling, you know,
It's supposed to be.
Yes. But I didn't see a lot of negative with this show. I really actually liked watching this show. I found myself entertained. I feel like things are turning around for ECW here.
Yes. This is the most ECW show we've seen so far.
I'm trying to figure out where this is on the tape reel. You know what I mean? Like, what is there any more on this taping from this show? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or is next week going to be like Montgomeryville or something? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or is this like the end of it? Because it's been kind of just running on just regular, just, you know, the last couple of weeks where nothing's striking you. I mean, nothing's striking me. And I don't know about you, but nothing's jumping out at me like this is like must see, and I'm wondering why it was a big deal that time frame for people to go home and watch ECW in Philadelphia at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever time they came on. Like it was, you know,
I would say
didn't see it.
I would say probably the biggest hook would be Cactus, you know, just to be able to see him. And I mean, Shane's doing fine with his deal, you know, being the champion or whatever. He what do I say? He embraces his gimmick, you know. I mean, but
well, Shane was perfect there. I mean, that was Shane from Continental in what 88.
Mm-hmm.
Like him working with Paul in Continental, is what I'm pretty sure that it's what put the gimmick in Paul's brain that Shane can be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he probably blueprinted him in from the beginning. I could see like a sketchbook with Paul writing Shane's name down as top guy.
Yeah.
You know? And then how do I get him there? How do I get him to be the top guy? I'll tell you how I get him to be the top guy. You listen to this. Yeah, that's what I think about the whole entire thing. What did you give the show? Because I just gave the show a flush. Because I didn't like it personally.
Mm.
I don't know. I guess would you give it a B or something?
I just said I didn't really even give it a grade or a score. It's just I didn't lose interest watching the show. I was entertained by it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I agree. Like I sat through the show and I didn't say anything stupid. You know, like I can't wait for this to be over.
Right.
I just waited and was like, all right. I looked at the clock and I'm like, well, it's only 37 minutes long. So there's only a few more minutes, and then I figured they were going to end. They haven't started the Pulp Fiction montages yet, right?
Not yet.
Just a lot of these shows, it seems like it starts to kind of like peter out toward when they get to like their big arena show. You know, like they're hyping this October 1st show, and that's why I think it's the end of this taping because they're hyping October 1st. So, like by the time they get there, they're just like, all right, this is the shit we got left, and let's just let's throw it out there. And
the sad thing is, it seems to be way too much of that, doesn't it? It's almost like every 3 weeks. After we get like one hot show, you know what I mean?
Yep. And then there's a mediocre one, and then there's a meh.
A terrible one.
Yeah. The cutting room
that's
floor
the way,
episode.
That's the way it's working. Well, yeah, that seems to be the formula. That Paul puts together his. All right, this is what I'm going to do. This is the guys that I want to push. But clearly you can't throw. Well, unless you're doing a TV taping, but them TV tapings sucked, man. They were hours and hours long, and everybody wrestled like 5 times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the matches suffer. The quality of the work suffers. Because nobody wants to work like 5 times.
Right.
And especially like what if you're Sabu? You know? And you work at a high level. Like that kind of, like me, I could do it. I mean, I can take the same flip bump or that flip back drop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the bumps, and then once you get calloused and your back's calloused, and you can take the bumps, that's all fine and dandy. But yeah, you can't be doing all that shit.
That's what I always say about people that always, you always hear people say that X wrestler was better in the territories, and then he went to the WWF and he wasn't as good. Well, also that wrestler was wrestling maybe 2 times or 4 times in a weekend. That wrestler was wrestling 6 times on a 5-hour TV taping. So obviously they're not going to go out and give territory style work when they have to work 6 times a night, 4 times.
And
a night.
you only have what 4 minutes?
Right.
Yeah,
What story can I tell in 4 minutes?
Right. It's not it's not a fair comparison at all.
like Xbox, he said that. He said like the wrestling business. He said this a long time ago, but he's like, it's crazy. He's like, you'd work for like 10 years to get to the WWF to be able to,
Leave
or get there and be able to have like a lighter style or whatever. And he's like, now it's like guys start in the WWF and then go to the independents. He's like, it's like it flipped.
Yeah, because nobody. To me. I mean, I probably could have if I wanted to. I mean, I've turned down trips to go up there and do jobs, and I was just like, why? They're not gonna look at a guy like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see anything in me. I mean, why would I? I mean, I'm going to spend $400 to make $200. So why would I even bother doing that? I'm not Dwayne Gill. And it's kind of a catch-22. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be on TV. You could be seen by dozens of people. And then, hopefully your phone will ring on the weekends that the ECW is not running, and hope you can get an independent booking somewhere. And, it doesn't happen.
But yeah,
ECW wasn't quite there yet. I think it was on the precipice of getting there.
Yep, and we are on our way there, but I want to thank Aaron and Chad. Unless you guys have any parting words for our listeners, I think we'll sign off and call it a wrap here.
We ain't had one Archie Mitchell reference.
Archie Mitchell, go out and get yourself
Archie
a
Mitchell.
junior.
All right.
Archie Mitchell, go out and get yourself a junior bacon bow hunk and kick back and relax.
That Facebook profile is coming soon. Archie Mitchell.
Archie Mitchell. the Dino send off.
That's what I think he looks like anyway.
Kind of is.
Yeah. Archie Mitchell. Good Lord.
Aaron, Chad, thank you for joining me this week. Thank you, listeners, for listening, and we will see y'all next week here on Reliving the Extreme. Have a great week, everybody.